Jimmy and Chelsea, I feel like they also didn't even touch on too many things with them, even though they had so much drama the whole season.
We don't want to see that right now. Get to the burning questions. That's what we want.
Oh my God, that was the part that I was like, okay, I'm like, yes, these are the type of questions I want to know about.
Why are you including all these random people that have nothing to do with season 6?
She not only met up with Matthew, but had 2 dates with him, and she thought he's cute.
Yeah.
50-50 podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Yas.
And I'm Yel.
And welcome back to 50-50.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe while you're already here because we have new episodes every single Wednesday. So if you subscribe, you won't miss a video.
So this is our final installment of our series of Love is Blind. After this, Love is Blind is over for us. So we're just going to get into the reunion because that's what this is about, the reunion. And we're going to go into our normal programming, different topics that we have coming up. One of them will be something to do with Ramadan.
Yes.
And then we'll go from there.
Yep. We're going to go back to our regular scheduled programming after this. And I'm sure there'll be, if there's more drama on the Love is Blind cast that comes out on social media, I'm sure we'll cover it too. But this is our last episode recapping the Love is Blind season 6 episodes and drama and everything.
Yes.
So I feel like let's get into it, right?
Yeah, let's get into it.
This is the reunion that just happened a couple days ago, and we had been waiting so long to watch this. I was so excited. I was literally counting down the days. We had a little watch party here together.
We did.
We watched the episode together, and it was like a 1 hour, 40 minutes about. So it was a lot of stuff, but there was definitely some things like that I feel like, well, maybe we can each give our thoughts, but I overall enjoyed it. I liked the reunion a lot. I was entertained the whole time, but there were some stuff that I feel like they missed out on asking, which I was just like, why didn't you ask that? And then also, there were just some things that I kind of didn't like that they did, and I know they tried a lot of new stuff out this reunion.
Yeah, they did try a lot of new things out. It reminded me a little bit of like the Bachelor situation.
Yeah.
They had old cast members there, Micah, Izzy,
Kwame,
and Chelsea. What's his name? Brett? Is it Brett?
Brett and Tiffany.
And that's it, I think.
And they had some other couples too, which I don't know.
Alexa and Brennan. And I forgot who else.
I don't know I didn't recognize the other couples because I've only seen starting season 4.
Oh.
So I saw season 4, season 5, season 6 now, and the other ones were from earlier seasons, so I didn't recognize who they
I
were.
remember now another one, Giannina and her husband, who he's not part of the Love is Blind
franchise,
but he was there. But anyways, Giannina was supposed to be on Perfect Match season 1, and because she found him,
she didn't go
or something like that, she said.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and now she's pregnant, she's having a baby.
Yeah, that was
Probably
nice
soon.
to see, like, the catch up with the couples. But so how did you feel about the reunion? Overall thoughts, and then we'll get into all the details.
About the reunion, I enjoyed it, yes. Did I think it was a little bit boring? Yes. Did I think they hyped it up too much? That's why it kind of let me down? Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because they were hyping it up too much, like the tea is going to be spilled. I mean, I didn't see any tea.
Yeah.
What tea?
Yeah, we didn't learn, like, too many new things that we hadn't seen on social media already.
Yeah, social media said everything already beforehand.
Yeah, which is like, that's the thing with social media. It's like good and bad because we get all this tea, right? We see everybody's perspective and we hear so many things and whatever, but then that's the kind of bad part because then it takes away from things like the reunion. But I still like social media better than, I guess, hearing it on the reunion. I don't know, but I feel like, let's just get into the couples.
Let's get into the couples.
So overall though, you enjoyed it, but you just, a little boring for you.
A little bit boring just because I already knew what they were saying, so I felt like they were just repeating it, and they missed so many stuff with like not Jeramey, or is that his name? Jimmy. Oh my God, why there's so many J's on this season? Jimmy and Chelsea, they missed out so many things, I feel like, and the forgotten couple, Amy and Johnny.
Oh my God, I feel like they were forgotten again.
Yeah, nobody asks them anything. I feel like they were just quiet the entire time. I saw Amy there. She got all cozy and like leaning back and everything. She was like, well, I guess nobody's going to ask me anything.
Yeah, she's like, let me sit back and watch the show because everything else going on. But it was like so like representative of the season where they asked them, I think, one question, which was just like, how are things kind of going? And everything's going great for them. They seem like a very one big happy family with both their families integrated and everything. So everything seems to be going really well. And there was, I guess, no other questions to be asked of them because that was, if I remember correctly, the only question that was asked. They didn't say anything else. I think so.
Well, starting with the couple.
The love triangle.
The love triangle, which is Jeramey, Laura, the original couple, and of course, the homewrecker who inserted herself, Sarah Ann.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She gets a lot of hate, but yeah, we'll get into it. But anyways, I was kind of disappointed that Laura was not there. I know she's like, work comes first and everything, so I understand. But
I wish she would have been there because I feel like it would have been a little bit more spicy because, Laura has a little spice to her.
Exactly. I thought it would have been so much better for her to be there in person. And yeah, so like getting right into it, I feel like Sarah Ann was so combative. I feel like she got there, and even when she came out, or she was just like, I feel like ready to go. She was just like come at me. And she was answering all the questions. I feel like Jeramey, I wanted to hear Jeramey more. I'm like, can we hear from his perspective? Like, because Sarah Ann answered a lot of our questions already when AD like interrogated her in that lake scene.
I mean, that interrogation literally was everything that we needed to know.
It was better than this reunion. Everything that AD asked her.
It was. Because all that we got is the same information again. Yeah, they apologized to Sarah. I mean, they apologized to Laura.
Yeah.
You know, both of them.
They don't seem too, like, they're apologizing but they don't seem very, like, what's the word?
Remorseful.
Yeah, they don't seem too remorseful. They're just like, yeah, I'm sorry. But they don't seem like they understand why she would be hurt, angry, because Laura has all her right to be hurt and angry.
I mean, that's her fiance.
Yeah, and she says, you were just with my family that day before he went out that night and then was with Sarah Ann. So she's like, in Laura's perspective, she's like, everything's going fine.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he leaves the house to go to a bar and then comes back and the relationship's over because he was with another woman. Yeah. Which is Sarah Ann.
Sarah Ann just was, like my sister says, so combative. And I understand because she says, you know, she doesn't talk to any of the girls there. Yeah. Which she unfollowed all the girls. And she only follows all the guys, which is also kind of weird. You know, she is just there. I guess the only thing that I can come up with is she gets combative or she feels so defensive because she feels like nobody there is going to have her back. Right. And so she's just ready to jump. If someone says something, she's like, what are they saying to me? Yeah. She's just so ready to battle. Yeah. When, you know, they just don't like her because what she did. Nobody likes a person that goes into a relationship, into someone else's relationship that they're literally going to get married, even if they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. But like, this is even more than that. They're literally on there to get married.
And in a couple of weeks, they were going to get married. So it's like, it's a very actually serious relationship. Exactly. They were both supposedly, right, agreed to get married. So, and yeah, I think, I don't know. I understand Sarah Ann, like you're saying, like kind of being defensive because nobody there, she knows that nobody there likes her, takes her side, etc., all that stuff. But I'm like, can you blame them? Because if they are women, I know right now a lot of them had broken up, so, you know, only Johnny and Amy made it. But while they were filming, they were all in relationships until, you know, the altar and everything. And of course they don't want somebody who just inserted herself into another, like, you know, engagement. Of course they don't want to be around her. Because why would other girls or women want to be around you and their fiancés when you are a person who has no boundaries and
no respect,
insert yourself into other people's relationships? So, I mean, I just think I get it why she's so defensive, but I'm just like, girl, can you blame them for not wanting to be around you?
I mean, you know, their loyalty, I guess, is also to Laura. Yeah. Because she is one of the main cast members. They've been, you know, doing everything together, the main cast. Yeah. She is from, like they say, the broader cast. Right. She's not part of the cast. And also, she is a person that literally just ruined a relationship. She really hurt Laura. Yeah. You know, and one of their friends. So, you know, the truth is she's a homewrecker. And that's the reality. Nobody's going to be friends with a homewrecker. Yeah. You know, Sarah Ann, she did the wrong thing. She did. And now she has, you know, they're not going to be her friend. That's just the reality. No, why would they?
Exactly. And like you're saying, also there's the like relationships that happen, like as in friendships, I should say better. But like maybe the girls just always got along better with Laura since the pods. Also, like you're saying, after the pods, they bonded more because all the main cast members did a lot more things together. So they spent more time together. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like Sarah Ann can blame them, but also I don't like how Sarah Ann took all the heat for everything. Yeah. When like Jeramey's right there and he is actually the one that I feel like we needed to hear explanations from because we hadn't heard much from him and he did the same thing where he gave like a couple word answers. Like he didn't give us anything that we needed to hear. I feel like, and Sarah Ann's just there taking everything and yeah, they stuck to their same story. Yeah. That is one thing that they do not like mess up on.
At least we know that they went over it multiple times together to make sure that they never go out of that. I mean, then they do have boundaries, I guess. So
yeah, I guess. But yeah, they said their same story. Nothing happened that night. And I'm like, do they think we're stupid? Because if you guys are claiming nothing happened that night, yet you guys started dating after that day, then what?
That doesn't make any sense.
How does that make any sense?
The fact that they're together right now speaks volumes on what happened that night.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think we are all seeing except them. They're not getting that, like why everybody doesn't believe them. And they keep, going on with this story that nobody believes. And yeah, talking a little bit about the tea, even after the reunion, Jeramey took to social media, like after the reunion happened right after. He was like, now I'm finally going to say everything and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of cast members have been talking more. So I guess their contract has something to do with like up until the reunion. Because now that the reunion has happened, they're going on interviews. I saw a lot of different like AD.
Well, finally they're going on
Yes,
interviews because the
finally.
only one that's been going is Jess and literally spilling all the tea on everyone.
Yeah. And so
which
finally
is
they get
interesting, but
yeah, and we'll get into that. We're going to get into her part, but yeah, but Jeramey went on Instagram even too and just said the exact same story again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not he's like, I'm going to say everything now. He hyped it up for nothing. You told us the exact same story for the 100th time.
If he wants to say something, he should have said it at the reunion because he literally stayed quiet. He let Sarah Ann, like you said, take all the heat, and he doesn't want to speak because he is honestly a coward.
And he knows that what he did is wrong.
Yeah.
And I know that now he said that, like he said that on Instagram, but I feel like he doesn't want to take, the heat, take the blame. When that's what he just should do, just be the bigger person and be like, I handle things horribly. And I apologize to Laura, but even the way he apologized, like we're saying, it was a disaster. I do not like them at all. One bit. A little other inside scoop that we got is Chelsea was saying that they've broken up. She's heard. Yeah,
that goes perfectly along with how their relationship even started. Yeah. Every time she says the 2 times that she's seen Jeramey out and about, he is always broken up. Exactly. He's always single.
Yeah, and
now he comes to the reunion with Sarah Ann.
Yeah,
I'm sure tomorrow they'll be broken up too. It's just not going to work out. The way that you started the relationship is the way it's going to end. Exactly. That's how it's going to. Sarah Ann's going to find somebody else's relationship that she's going to want to break up. Exactly. And that's what's going to happen.
And did you notice it's just one little, like, extra take that I might be reading into it too much. But I feel like in that reunion, everything, even the way they were sitting, like Sarah Ann, like just looking at body language, I feel like she is way more into him than he is to her.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like she was like...
She's like on top of him, like...
Yeah.
And he's just like laying there, like...
He's just there, like, I feel like he was also kind of like uncomfortable. I get it's a studio, whatever, but like, it was just... weird.
It was weird.
And I feel like I got nothing new from them.
Yeah. And now let's talk about something that we all also wanted to know, that we already knew. Trevor.
Oh my God. Yes, Trevor. That was really...
That was just so weird.
Weird, and I feel like in a way, even though he's wrong for what he did, he made me feel bad for him.
I felt horrible for him.
Yeah.
And I saw, because I'm, always scoping on social media just to get the latest tea so we can say it on here. People are actually upset with Netflix. Mm-hmm. They're really upset with Netflix because they said that, and this wasn't aired, they said that Trevor said, I'm not mentally stable to go on and do this interview. Like, I don't want to do it, right. But they still forced him to go on and they still forced him to do it. And even though when he was on there, he said he wanted to leave.
Yeah.
They said that Nick Lachey was like, well, let me ask you one more question and then you can leave kind of thing. We watched it back and I didn't see it like that.
Yeah. When I watched it back, because I would just want to like see it.
I mean, it could be editing that switched it up. So I'm not sure.
You're right. But when I watched it back and everything I heard, he was like, can I leave now? And Vanessa's kind of asking him a question. So Nick Lachey does say it. So I don't know if he hears or not. But Nick Lachey is like, he's like, yeah, you can go.
But he doesn't leave. Trevor doesn't leave.
But then later, Nick Lachey does tell him, you asked to leave, like, you can leave. And then that's when he goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that Trevor goes on and he just freezes. He like freezes for so long. He's just like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, Trevor, why'd you go? I know for the audience, for us, like we wanted to hear and everything. So definitely, I know we all wanted him to be there. But I'm like, if I were Trevor and you have nothing to say over this situation and you are so embarrassed or whatever it is, why even go on? If you're not going to say anything about it, you feel uncomfortable talking about it, why even go on the show? Because he gave us kind of like nothing. His girlfriend has said more on TikTok than he said there at the reunion.
Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend, I should say.
I think maybe they made it as if it was like a contractual thing that he had to show up. I'm not sure, right?
Yeah, we don't know that, yeah.
But what I do know is that they're saying, if you want to make an example out of him, that's not the way to go about it.
Right.
Because that's so, I feel like, embarrassing to Trevor. Embarrassing for Netflix because you don't want to do this kind of an example. Then what you're going to do is kind of like have people like, I guess, hide it more or maybe more of this is going to show up so then they can get more clout or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is not the way to do it. They should have done it, under wraps, I feel like.
Yeah.
Not make an example out of him in front of everyone because then now they know, like, well, I'm going to have a lot of screen time or something.
Right,
you know what I mean? I don't know.
But you're right. I think they did try to make an example out of him.
They did.
They were kind of like, they took that moment to be like, guys, please don't come on this show if you're in a relationship, if you're not serious about it, because there are people who are serious and you can hurt people's feelings and all that. But I think you're right. I think they pushed a little too hard on him.
Just a little too hard. And
I don't know.
The truth is this. Everyone that is going on there, in the end, becomes like influencers. Right. Look at Jess.
Exactly.
Right? Look at, who's the other one? I just saw Amy. She did something with Tresemme. Jess is doing something with Ulta.
Yeah.
You know, different things like that. So,
I mean, at this point, anybody going on that show, on Love is Blind, now with all the popularity that it has, they're not going on there just to find love.
No, they're
Maybe
not.
Finding love is a plus. But they're going on there to promote their name out there, promote themselves, become influencers, whatever it is. You know, that is really what people are doing. So I just think like singling him out, like you're saying, is kind of messed up. But also I know what he did is messed up too, because that was wrong of him to do that. That was
wrong,
but I don't know, him just freezing up there, because I feel like it would have been so different had he been like more ready with a response, or he didn't even have to be mean, but he could just be
he said ready, he had a response ready, but I think what caught him off guard maybe was just like everyone there.
Exactly.
The lights, the cameras. Even though the cameras are following them, but this is different. You know, this is on a stage.
Exactly.
They have an audience, which is new. You know, they never had an audience before. I mean, he wouldn't know because he's never been on Love is Blind before. Right. But still, being in front of an audience, seeing old LIB members.
Yeah.
All your castmates, you know.
And like everybody grilling you about this.
Yeah. And all eyes are on you because...
Yeah.
You did something so wrong.
Right.
So wrong because everybody... I mean, this is just the truth. Jess is on there for clout.
I mean, let's just be real. We can go right into Jess then too. Like,
yeah.
We're just like... I was there like, what is Jess's role going to be in the reunion? And even at the end, I'm like, I feel like she didn't need to be there.
She literally... All she did was give her opinion on this, that, and the other. Well, that's not the point of the reunion of other people's opinions. We want to hear from the couples themselves.
Exactly. I just feel like it was kind of forced. Like, she really didn't have any, like you're saying, we were saying earlier, no storyline. She has no storyline. So I feel like she even had like one small segment of hers, which was to talk about with Jeramey about a recent interview that he went on and said, where he lied about the, because he said in our date she left like at the 10-minute mark, blah blah, and it was actually like, we saw the receipts, they played it for us. She was there for like 1 hour and like 40,
I think it was like 2 hours.
Yeah. So she did not leave like he said, but I'm like, what did that give?
So
what
that didn't give anything. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like they kind of wasted time with Jess there when we could have been hearing other things that we want to know about, and also even like the question that she got from like the previous LIB members, which was like, oh, like, you know, does your child watch the show? Does your daughter watch the show? And how does she like it? Whatever. I just feel like that those are not reunion questions. I'm like, we have heard that. She's answered that in every single interview that she's done. I've seen that on Instagram already. I've seen that on TikTok.
I don't care.
Like, when I heard her response again, I was like, again? I'm like, I've heard her say this a million times.
I mean, I honestly, this is the truth. I don't care about what her child thinks, because me personally, I think her child should not be watching the show, because this show is not for minor children. According to her child is 10 or whatever.
10 or 11.
So this show, that's an interesting question that people ask, because they're not taking into consideration her child's age.
Yeah.
So who cares what her child thinks, because that's something private that she should be dealing with at home.
Exactly. Yeah. And I actually kind of was a little shocked. She's like, yeah, she's watched the show in its entirety. And I'm like, in its entirety? I'm like, oh my gosh, she's only 10 years old or 11. I'm like, that's so young. I'm like, I don't think she should be hearing all these things. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. And her mom has such a small part. So I get, maybe show her your scenes.
Yeah.
But that
she was not relevant in the storyline.
She's just in the pod. So I'm like, why is your daughter watching all these things? I don't know. I just feel like they talk about a lot of mature topics. Jeramey and Chelsea with their whole everything that they talk about with him hooking up with his friend, ex-girlfriend, whatever it is, you know.
Just the language. There's so many things that have her mom is not included in it. So, well, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, it's just, that was shocking too. But yeah, my point is, I just don't think it was reunion material, like what they asked her. And I just feel like her part in there, it was nothing new. She's been on so many interviews, like you were saying, that we know her point of view, we know her opinion on things, and I just don't think that she really, I don't know why she was there, to be honest. I don't know why she was there at the reunion.
The only thing that I can think of is because they were promoting Perfect Match Season 2.
That's true. That could be.
She's going to be on air, Jess, Micah, and Izzy, which that's also another thing. We'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
Let's continue recapping these couples, because there's a lot of things that I want to say about the whole audience and the old castmates. There's a lot that I want to say.
Me too. I want to talk about too. We'll get into that, like you're saying. We'll do that after we like recap all like the drama with the couples.
So
but that's Jess.
That's Jess. And then we go to
AD and Clay.
AD and Clay.
They talk to AD and Clay. I love Clay so much. I always loved him, but I'm just like I saw him there, and he even teared up at one point talking about.
Got me to tear up.
Yeah, yes, I know. It was just he seemed like such a nice guy and everything, and like they really left off at the reunion where they kind of left us like we don't know what's going on with them because they asked AD, "Would you date him again?" And she kind of just like laughed and she didn't say yes or no, but she kept looking at him. So I'm like, and then a lot of people were saying this online, like, are they dating right now?
I don't know. I don't know if they are. I would want them to, but at the same time, I'm like, it's wasting your time, AD. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, ugh, she wants to get married. He doesn't. He doesn't. And that's the point of the show, is to have a quick marriage, right? Because you want to start your life as a married couple fast.
Right.
He doesn't want to do that. He couldn't commit. So why give him more time?
Yeah.
It's over. I feel that way.
I feel that way too. And he did say, he's like, I've been to therapy. He's like, I'm
proud of him. That's good.
I'm proud of him too. I'm proud that he's been like, handling his problems and everything. But I feel the same way. I feel like from AD's point of view, I'm like, I don't think she should take him back because, or give it another shot with him, because if he couldn't commit to you, then what, like, I know, okay, he's done work, but I don't know. In that whole comment too, this was something that was not brought up. That's something that I really wanted them to ask.
Yeah. When
he said there in the camera, he's like, am I ready for marriage? He said, I looked at myself like that day when he said no to her at the altar. That's the scene I'm referencing. He was like, when I looked at myself in the mirror, I said, I'm not ready to commit.
Yeah.
And he said, and also he's like, am I deeply in love? No, I'm not. And that to me, that was like
that was shocking.
That would be a stab in the heart to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and nobody brought that up at the reunion. And I feel like they should have asked that, because if he says he's not deeply in love with AD, then, right? Mm-hmm. I would have doubts, like, how is he now? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I don't know. And I know, like, love can grow, whatever, but I don't know. I just really feel like she shouldn't waste her time with him.
She shouldn't. I mean, he says that he messed up. She's a love of his life or something like that he said. Yeah. Those are a lot of big claims when you literally just said on TV that you're not deeply in love with her. I don't know if I believe it.
That's why I feel like they were missing a question there, just being like, so on the show you said you were deeply in love with her. Is like, you were not deeply in love with her. Excuse me. I'm like, I feel like they should have asked him, do you regret saying that? Was that your true feelings? Like, I feel like we needed something there, because had they asked him that and then he's like, no, you know what? I misspoke. I actually realized that I loved her so much, whatever, blah, blah.
And I would want to know what AD's feelings are watching that back.
Exactly. Too. Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a big miss.
Yeah. And then another thing that they did mention was that AD actually went on 2 dates with Matthew.
Oh my God. That was the part that I was like, okay, I'm like, yes, these are the type of questions I want to know about. Like, has she seen Matthew? And she said yes. She not only met up with Matthew, but had 2 dates with him, and she thought he's cute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's ugly, but I mean,
I personally I wouldn't have thought that she would think he's cute.
I thought that she would think he's cute. He's not my type of guy, but I see him as, he's average, he looks fine.
Yeah. And she was there laughing and everything when you asked her about Matt. So I'm like,
yeah. Because she's laughing because he's, he's a little bit weird, or at least that's how the cameras, the editing made him seem like, very off. But hey, she liked him. There's someone for everyone,
Exactly. There's somebody for everybody. And they said that they did ask Matthew to be on the show, but he declined.
I wish he would have been on there. I think he's too nervous, though. I feel like he's very introverted.
Yeah.
Didn't she say that?
Yeah. I mean, he came off that way too. I mean, he's very... He's very weird in general, so I don't know how he would have came off on the reunion in that whole studio setting. Imagine, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he would have thrived. I think he would have been just like Trevor, if not worse.
Yes, poor Trevor. God. Yeah, that's what Trevor should have done. Listen, like, not gone on, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think it was something contractual or something.
Yeah. And then Jimmy and Chelsea, I feel like they also didn't even touch on too many things with them, even though they had so much drama the whole season.
They are literally the main characters out of all of them, it's them.
Yeah. I mean, every episode, they had the most screen time, because every single episode, they had a new problem they were dealing with, a new fight, a new whatever it was. They always had something.
I mean, I thought they were going to touch on, correct me, did they even talk about the Megan Fox comment?
They did talk about the Megan Fox comment, but I feel like it didn't go deep into anything. She was just like, she learned her lesson to never compare herself, But
what about the entire social media craze that came out of her saying about the Megan Fox thing?
Yeah.
Why didn't they talk about his reaction when he met her?
Yes. See, I'm saying they missed some things.
And saying oh, she lied to me. So for him, he was actually not attracted to her from the get-go. Why didn't they talk about that? Why didn't they touch on that?
That was a miss too. I was gonna say the same thing. They missed on that. I feel like they also missed on asking Jimmy about that whole thing where he commented on AD's body.
Yeah.
And made Chelsea feel uncomfortable and all that. And like they
flirting with AD.
Flirting with AD.
They didn't talk about him flirting with AD and AD flirting back because come on, it takes two to tango.
Yeah, that's what people say. You know, everybody has their opinion on that. That's
my opinion.
Yeah, but like I feel like that was also because even if it was just a little funny like comedic moment, but why didn't they bring it up?
Yeah.
I feel like those are things we all wanted to know. So, but yeah, Jimmy and Chelsea, nothing new from them either.
No,
nothing new. They talked about like the girlfriend situation where she brought up that friend was actually an ex-girlfriend and like whatever, and they had hooked up, and she even apologizes to him.
That's ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous. I can't handle that. These people are so toxic. All of them of them on that show are toxic. If they really think that Chelsea has to apologize.
Yeah, but some people backed her up though. Like I don't know if it was Jess who said it and also somebody from the crowd. I think it was Micah even who was like, well, why wouldn't she bring it up if that's something that's influential to your relationship?
Exactly.
Because
it
was a big time influential to their relationship. So I think there was like one or two people who backed her up, which I was like, thank goodness, because I'm just like, there goes Chelsea. Like, I don't know, just horrible. And Jimmy too. Jimmy was like,
I do not like Jimmy. I don't care how many people say poor Jimmy. He had a handle or not. What did he has so much patience for Chelsea. Chelsea has so much patience for him. Look at her literally losing it on Netflix, which is such a huge show for them on Love is Blind. Yeah. She literally lost it over this guy. And no, that's ridiculous.
I feel like they didn't even touch on that either. Like, kind of how do you feel watching back, like you having so many breakdowns and everything?
Yeah.
So there was a lot that got missed there that I wish we would have seen and heard about and everything. But, moving on to the next couple.
Who?
Brittany and Ken.
Oh my God. See, I already forgot about them too.
Which at least it's kind of some new information, because that was something I was interested in a little bit of, like knowing like where are they now, because their breakup seemed so just like cold, because and we understand now they had broken up actually previously to that scene.
But they don't talk about that not
on the reunion. We heard that from social media.
Yeah, and that's what Jeramey wanted to claim too.
Yeah,
about him and Laura, that they had already broken up beforehand, so they had to redo the whole thing again.
Yeah,
that's what he said. That's why he was so cold in the
He doesn't care. That's the truth. Yeah, him, because even the lake scene too, where he didn't say that was like a reenactment when they're talking there in the lake and kind of officially like talking about her coming to pick up her stuff and all that stuff. Like he also seems there like he doesn't care.
Yeah, but sorry,
the man doesn't care.
Yeah, going back to Ken and Brittany.
Yeah, they say they talk every day and everything. So that was kind of their update, that they're like basically friends. I guess. And
which makes sense.
Makes sense. I was saying that's what I kind of got from the beginning. I'm like, you know what? They are great. They're that's what they matched, because they're a good match, but for a friendship. Like there was no romance there. Yeah. So I think, that wasn't surprising that they're friends, and I like that for them. But like they said, in the future, they don't know what would happen once one of them gets in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because
I think the friendship is going to be over, because they're both respectful people. I like both of them individually. I like them together, so I wish it would have worked out for them, but it didn't. And so it's so nice that they're friends.
Exactly. I'm glad that they're friends. There's no
and they both seem like just so nice.
Yeah.
Brittany seems like a really nice person. Just like a nice person to be a friend with, and so does Ken. He seems like a very nice friend.
And they're both easygoing. That's why I feel like they match so well. Like I'm saying, there's just not any like love there.
Yeah, I feel like I would be friends with them.
Yeah,
they seem nice.
They seem really nice. So that was good. And then so talking about like some things that we didn't like and everything, and I know you touched on a little bit, and I agree with you. I kind of didn't like that the previous Love is Blind people were there.
I didn't like that.
I don't think that it fit in with a reunion. And
this is the thing, not just it didn't fit in with the reunion, but also they started talking about their updates. Like they went into the updates of the old cast members. Like kind of like, where are they now with the old cast members? And listen, I want them to have literally they should do a whole season on where are they now, what is up with them, and all of that stuff. And like, do they go to each other's birthdays or whatever? Create a whole season on that.
Exactly.
But not in a reunion of another season, of a new season.
Exactly.
Season 6 has nothing to do with season 4, with season 3, 2, 1, whatever. Come on.
What I was thinking. I know we already talked about this too. We talked about it because we were watching, we had like a little watch party here, so we were watching it together and everything. And I was just like exactly what my sister is saying right now. Like, that's amazing to see.
I really want to see that.
I would love to see a whole season. I was gonna say one episode, but you're right, a whole season would be
good. Imagine
just,
a whole season.
Yeah, to just it mix up like all the previous Love is Blind seasons, the couples that made it together or whatever, like just and see like where are they now. That would be great. But I'm like, why would you put that during the season 6 reunion when they all have nothing to do with season 6? They also talked about like Zach and Bliss from season 4.
Oh yeah,
like their baby shower thing. Again, all cool things. Would love to know that. Love to see where they're at. But why during this reunion?
Wait, did they show it on the screen?
Yeah, they showed like little clips that I guess of a video because I think Zach and Bliss put that on YouTube or something.
Okay.
Their like baby shower or I think it was baby shower, not gender reveal. So yeah, I'm just like again things we'd like to see, but I feel like why are they putting that during the season 6 reunion, especially because like. They're like I feel like they're acting like they don't have enough content. I'm like there is plenty of content to go through, so I don't know why they felt the need to do that during this reunion.
I don't know. You know, the way that these people like Netflix should do these reunions is kind of like on Bravo. Okay, you know how Andy Cohen, he gets all the women there, all the housewives, and he's asking all the questions. That's exactly how it should be.
Exactly.
And he doesn't hold back.
And I'm glad you said that because I wanted to ask you because it's something that I saw online. I don't know if you've seen, but because you know there's been like this drama with the hosts, Vanessa
they gotta go,
and Nick Lachey. Yeah, so everybody's saying they've been saying they have to go, and so everybody has been kind of like reviewing their their like work, I guess, at this reunion.
Sucks.
And they're like, how do you think they did? So, I guess you didn't like it, right? How they whatever.
I don't like it because. They're just not asking the right questions. That's the truth. Vanessa, I'm sorry. She's just trying to be all about like I'm the wife and like, yeah, no, sweetie, you do that too or whatever. We don't want to see that right now. Get to the burning questions. That's what we want. I just feel like they either need to get it together and ask the right questions or give it to Andy Cohen because he knows how to do reunions.
That's what I was thinking too. I was comparing them. It's so funny that obviously, we're sisters. We think the same thing, I guess. But I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like comparing them to Andy Cohen because Andy Cohen does such a good job. Like we know he's an iconic like reunion host. Everybody loves how he does the stuff. I love how he does it. So I just feel like that is like when I compare them to him, I'm like, of course he does it so much better because I feel like Andy, what he does is ask, first of all the best questions. He asks like everything that we all want to know. He asks, and I feel like he doesn't miss a detail. And also, I think he does a part where he doesn't get involved. Like he always says he doesn't take a side. So when he's like saying the questions, I feel like he's not adding his own personal thoughts on it. Sometimes he does, right? A little bit.
I mean, the thing is, I think he watches the show and he's invested into the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they watch the show. I don't know if they're invested. I mean, she says like we were watching it, whatever, Vanessa.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Is that true? We don't, they can say that, but is that true?
Or do they just get like, the cliff notes on the show of what's going on? Yeah. Or are they actually watching it? Because if you're watching it, I would be taking notes, be like, I need to ask this, I need to ask that. What are the people saying on social media? Like, they're not asking the right questions. Why are you including all these random people that have nothing to do with season 6?
Might not be their choice, right? Because that might be a production and whatever, so it might not be their choice exactly.
That's true.
But I think, like, that's just comparing them to Andy Cohen. Like, I think that if they could improve anything, it's like, I think that they should kind of remove themselves. Because sometimes when they're asking the questions, I feel like they feel personally hurt by things too. Like with the whole thing with Trevor, they're just kind of like you said this and you said that. And I feel like it felt like they were attacking him a little bit when they could have asked those same questions without having like that emotional, like, connection to it. Yeah. Like they're acting like he hurt them.
Is this their show?
I don't know. That could maybe be the difference. But anyways, as far as their hosting, I don't think they need to be fired. I'm not on that side. I know social media is like, get them off. Like we need new hosts.
They don't need to be fired. They just need to buckle down and get to the right questions.
I think so too. They need to get to the right questions, and I think this is just like their style of interviewing. So like that's what I was thinking too. I'm like,
not good.
Andy Cohen has his style, which I like, but this is their style, and
sucks.
And it's okay, but Yeah. And so another thing that I was like, another miss, they never asked AD or Kenneth, either one, but I would have wanted to hear from Kenneth's point of view, what he, like, did the conversation with AD influence him at all? Because that's how the editing made it look. Mm-hmm. I personally don't think so, because I just think there wasn't a connection there between Brittany and Ken, like a romantic connection. But why didn't they ask that? If that's something social media has been talking about that, like when that episode aired and after, that's a big topic.
What we've all thought.
Yeah. So that was another miss for me. I'm like, they're asking all these questions like, oh, where is this person now? Whatever. I'm like, why aren't you asking what we want to know?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they didn't have that much. Maybe they didn't want to open up, maybe the cast members didn't want to open up. That could also be, I guess, I don't know.
I think maybe they didn't want to get into like, because it's like a race, like that conversation was about race.
Oh, okay,
and that's
yeah.
like what I was thinking. I'm like, maybe Love is Blind or Netflix or whatever, they were just like, you know what, let's not touch on that because it's like, it's about race and like, but I don't think that's bad.
That's not bad. I mean,
it's real life stuff. I mean,
yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be about real life things. That's a real life situation. I mean, it's on the show.
Yeah, and I feel like they didn't. I think they were thinking it had to be race, but it's really not about the conversations about race. But what I would have liked to know as a viewer is, did what AD say make Kenneth think something that he maybe wasn't thinking about before?
Exactly.
Like, did it bring something to light that he kind of was like, oh wait, you're right, I should consider that. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I wanted to like really know. But so they didn't ask that. Another thing like they kind of forgot to ask about, or I guess they didn't think people weren't that interested anymore about it. I don't know.
I was interested. Yeah.
And then another thing that I have, just things I've seen on social media since this ended, is that you actually were telling me about this, that Jimmy says that he's open to dating AD.
Jimmy's wild. He's a wild card.
He is. Oh my God. And I'm just like, that was just so funny to me. And so anyways, it just reminded me again, I'm like, another reason why they should have asked him about that comment he made about AD's body. Because I feel like they need, like, should ask him, like, are you attracted to AD? Because I feel like he is.
I think he is. Did you know Jimmy was just on what is this?
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
Yes, it was just like a little. I saw that clip.
Just a little clip.
Just a little part of him being in
and
there.
He's wild. He reminds me like of those college boys.
Like frat boys.
The frat boys, yeah. I think that's kind of how he seems like.
Yeah, that's kind of like his personality or whatever. But yeah. So
overall, I like the show. I love the show. I'm never going to stop watching it. Take everything that we say with a grain of salt. It's not that serious for us or for anyone. It shouldn't be that serious. So whatever we say here is honestly...
Yeah.
And it's all for fun and games. Honestly, I think about it just right now, and I don't think about it ever again in my life.
Exactly. And of course, we're just like super analyzing it and everything.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was a good reunion. Like I'm saying, I have my little
suggestions.
Just I think, the whole thing with having the previous cast members there, I don't think it was fit for a reunion. But, it wasn't bad information either. I liked to hear, like, their kind of, like, where are they now stuff and everything. So I thought that was good. And overall, season 6, it kept me entertained. So far, for me, I watched 4, 5, and 6 now of the seasons. And I would say this is, like, the best one.
I've watched every single season. This is the best season out of all of them because it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know about the reunion, though. I think I liked another reunion better. I can't remember which one.
Yeah. From the reunions, this is definitely better than last reunion because season 5 reunion was just not good in my opinion.
No.
But season 4 was pretty good.
Yeah. I was going to say seasons 1 through 4 have been great.
Yeah.
The reunion of 5 was not good, and this reunion was not that good for me either. But I can't wait for next year.
Yeah, next season. We don't know when it'll be out, and you know what? They always do that after the altar.
I can't wait for that. They didn't do that for last season, though. Because,
they didn't?
Because something weird happened with last season. But anyways, I'm so excited. I hope they do it for this season.
Yeah, I hope they do it after the altar. And, like, honestly, now, I've never really wanted to watch Perfect Match. But now, with their whole little promotion of it and everything, and Micah being there, Izzy, and Jess, I'm like, and I don't know who else is on there. We'll see. But
I watched season 1, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all fake. It's so fake. But
people say nobody goes on there to actually find love. This really is just for, like, clout, but...
That's another thing. Izzy's in a relationship. Jess said she was in a relationship with someone else from season 6 from the broader cast. And Micah, I'm not sure about her stuff. Haven't really kept up with her too much.
Yeah.
But what's the point of Perfect Match 2 then they should have kept it under wraps that they are in relationships and stuff. I don't know.
Exactly. And they're saying that Jess is in a relationship currently because of Perfect Match because they've already filmed it or something like that. If I'm remembering.
But it's already ruining the end.
Exactly. And that's what everybody's saying. Like, it's already ruining everything. So, well, that's, I guess that's what social media does, right? Like you see things.
Prematurely, you know things. So,
So overall we enjoyed the season. We loved it. We have our little critiques, but it was overall a good reunion. And I hope you guys have enjoyed watching these recaps because one of the best things about watching these shows for me is that like all of our conversations afterwards and like just like
it's fun. I love
analyzing everything and like, just listening to all the drama from social media and everywhere. So
yes, guys, thank you so much for keeping up with us and during our series here of Love is Blind. And we're going to get back to our regular episodes starting next week on Wednesday. And we will see you guys then.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys in next week's episode.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.